Hello. Welcome to episode 146 of Live Drawing. Tonight I'll be working on page 56 of Undersea Hero. And if we get that done, we'll work on that sketch cover that we started the other day. There's our prelim. Got my ruler, got my inking stuff. As you can see, we see for the first time Undersea Hero's Undersea Lair. Hey, Marthos. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Thank you for giving us our good open. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone on the stream and watching are doing well, and if not, I hope things get better for you. Yeah, I worked on this page this weekend. Last week was really difficult, so I didn't get too far on my work, but I worked on this page. I inked this top panel, which is the introduction to Undersea Heroes. It's the first time you see his deep sea lair. It's in an undersea volcano. Hello, Daniel. Good to see you. We've got our little spectacular spider crab sighting here. These are a type of deep sea barnacle, which are very cool. They exist near deep sea smokers in a low oxygen, low sunlight environment. They're pretty cool animals. Panel 2 is that overhead shot that we gridded out last time. And panel 3, I've inked the liquid lad, and then I think I'm gonna start here and then come back up to here because the ruler work isn't as fun. I want to do something that's kind of fun. Been struggling a little bit with my drawing the last few days, but we'll do the best that we can today. I agree. Volcanoes are always a plus for a lair, and the bottom of the ocean, I just thought it was cool. I remembered when I was a kid, it was a good place for a lair. There were a bunch of volcano layers, and they were usually bad guys. So I was like, why can't a good guy have a cool lair under the sea? So, and you'll see that there's all kinds of the smoke, and then there's actually lava. It's got a moat of lava protecting it. So I thought that would be cool. And it's silly. It's patently absurd. And anybody who knows or is interested in this book knew what they were signing up for. So stuff in the way here. We have a big piece of paper, so maybe we can zoom in a little bit. I can't zoom in too much because we have that issue where things get blurry. That okay? That doesn't look blurry. 0.5. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of Martha's. There were a bunch of gradient mapping videos online. I was looking for a better one for an example for that style of coloring you were asking me about. It's a very mechanical process. It's not as fun as just like painting or whatever. In this panel, there's a knock at the door, and that's why they're both turning and facing towards the viewer. That's always a good thing. Daniel, you like drawing smoke? Do you like to draw like the forms? Do you like to draw with lines? There's a couple different ways I like to do it. How do you like to do it? Hey, David, thanks for popping in. Yeah, we're getting to the end of that line art. We're on the last few pages. And then I started writing the surveys for everybody for the Kickstarter, and those will go out. And well, we're coloring, um, and lettering. People have time to fill those out. I'll do my best to get word out to everybody. It's turned out to be a very cold and busy day today, which was surprising. I was hoping it wouldn't be too busy, but it also got cold, which was not very fun. We did get a new. Oh, maybe he meant draw and smoke. Maybe some people do. One of the best artists I know does it every time he draws. He says it helps him relax and focus. So I was having trouble with my form this week, which was a little surprising. I don't know. It was one of those where I was getting, and I was not giving enough weight to the shape of things. It was funny. My one of my college art professors said that she liked Undersea Hero's chin on the post over on Instagram, and we've talked about it many times on this channel. His head is modeled after an old boot. So if you're ever looking to draw Undersea Hero, two things to remember: the middle of his head is the base of his nose instead of the bridge, and just keep picturing an old boot. I did get invited to do a convention down in Connecticut in July. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm trying to work it out. So we'll see. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the idea of Undersea Hero's hair is that, like, if it were ever animated, it's always moving like it's underwater. And, if you look at like Jim Aparo when he drew Aquaman, or if you look at the way Joe St. Pierre drew his version, or trying to think, there were also some cartoons when I was a kid that took place underwater where the hair would always be moving a certain way. And I had all those in my head and kind of mixed them together. And so. Hey, Brian's with us. How's it going, Brian? What I'm using here is excuse me, a Tombow pen. It's a flexible, tipped, for lack of a better term, marker. It's a pen, but you're able to get some variable line thicknesses with it. So I think it's a fun tool to use. It's got a nice flex to it. They roped you into working the NEC booth at Anime Boston. I see how it is. I'll say hi to Tom and everybody for me. I hope they have a Profitable show. Tom always says it's a good show. That's why they keep doing it. They make good money and people are nice and it's a worthwhile venture for all concerned. I've never been. My buddy Jay will be there, so if you see Jay there, I'll tell him to stop by the NEC booth to say hello. I always find it fun when different people from the stream here meet each other in person for the first time, and I think at Free Comic Book Day, Brian, you got to meet Jonathan. It's just really, really cool to me. Eli Stone, artist in the house. Good to see you, Eli. I used to work hoping to get invited to San Diego, but I doubt they'll be doing that con again in the near future. Yeah, no idea. I mean, I had spoken to them about possibly doing stuff, and you were there. You were there. You were there for that conversation, and they know where to find me. I'm available. I told them I'm very more than happy to do any comic stuff they want to do. But it's entire that the tick stuff is entirely in their court. And Ben's, of course. If Ben decides to do anything, I told him I'd be happy to support whatever he wants to do. It's fun picking out the stuff to exaggerate on this because it's not real. And I'm not trying to depict anything that's real. I just want it to be engaging and cool to draw and believable to look at. Oh, that's right. We've had enough people. We can put the overlay on that people like. Yeah. There we go. Thank you, Martha's. Thank you for that. Producer credit for tonight goes to Martha's. Oh, and I did talk to Jay. Yeah, he said he would probably do a piece for when we get to the Dime Box project. So slowly coming together, behind the scenes. It's a very, very back burnery thing for me at the moment. But it came up. We were mentioning the stream tonight, and I told him, that there were some folks interested in doing another Dime Box. So. Jay and I did the first one together with a couple of our friends locally, and we've always wanted to do more. So. To a degree, I don't know. I think that it would fall. I think that the rights are. I mean, Ben owns them, but the licensing situation, I don't know if it would be NEC corporate or NEC press specifically, because that's a specific separate entity. And if that's the case, then it might still be George. Like I don't know. And it's I'm sure if Ben decides to do anything with it, that he will just do his own thing. It's one of the reasons that I've really put so much effort into Undersea Heroes, that I wanted my own superhero, funny, silly universe to be able to tell a story. Who is Jay using for his heroes? He's not sure, but he liked the idea of hopping in. I think last time he used one of the Fiction House characters, Space Smith. That was a fun one. We kind of teamed up on it where He did the pencils and the layouts, and then I did like inks and tones on top of it. Jay and we've collaborated on a few pieces like that. I enjoy doing that kind of work. We talked about using a group of characters called the Nine, which was a gang that was a baseball team, and they wore baseball uniform, and they were just numbered 1 through 9, and they would rob banks and stuff. That was one that I remember we had joked about doing something with at one time. I know Jay likes the Lev Gleason stuff, like the Daredevil and things like that. You could cross promote that way, but I do think we'll end up giving like it's up to you, but I think the most fair way to do it would be to give everyone permission to print their own copies if they want to. Um, as far as the book itself goes, because I don't want to do a big giant Kickstarter, and I don't want to serve as like I want people to be able to do what they want. So I don't want to be you know de facto publisher. Well, Max versus the Tick cover. I would guess that's that War of the Independence book that Dave Ryan did. I think Ryan G. Brown was doing a variant cover. Um, I might be able to pull it up. Take a look. Yep, that's what it is. He did Ryan G. Brown. He's done a ton of variant covers. He has definitely reached out to NEC about working on the Tick. Um, but yeah, I just pulled it up. It's Ryan Brown's cover for War of the Independence, and I can I can tell you that NEC does not like homage covers, and in this case, like my understanding is that many years ago, Ben agreed to let Dave do that War of the Independence, and it just has taken him a decade of working on it to put out the book. Because I remember picking up the first War of the Independence when I was in college, I think, or just shortly after, which was many years ago now. But I do believe he got permission, and I believe it was many years ago. That's my understanding. Um, the publisher's Dave Ryan. That's the guy I think that got permission. I talked to him at a show at one point. Um, it's one of those where he went to creators and just asked them if he could use their character. As far as I know, he has permission to use that stuff. I don't know if because of how long it has taken that any of those permissions have changed. It's not my book, not my business. but I do know that they have had to make adjustments in their publishing just because of how long it's taken. I know they've had different creative teams. They've done spin-offs. They've done all kinds of stuff. So like they've done many things with the War of the Independents brand. So you have no following because last year was your. I think a friend of mine. I think our friend Allison has done one of those art fight type things. I don't really know much about it. Is it like some sort of contest or whatever? Cool. Yeah, you can see all those lines that I had in there just for me to be able to see it and do the structure. Yeah, I've actually got a similar thing where my friends were gonna all get killed off in one of my Helena stories, and I ended up holding off on the big war story. And oh, okay. Yeah, I think Allison did that. I don't think she's here tonight. Otherwise, I'd ask her. But I think she did one of those. She said it was cool. So well, it's cool that they promote original characters. So like, it's not just like fan art of other publishers' characters, other people's works. So, we pull back. Some of those extra lines go away, and it lets the eye fill in some of the stuff, which makes it a little bit more dynamic. What I did last year involved a mini comic about a reality dating show of monsters on the beach. So, all right, monsters on the beach. That's always a fun premise. Thirsty. All right. And there's going to be a big sound effect, and then there's some speech balloons here, so this whole thing will fill out. Well, this is the first panel where we see three of the characters that live in the undersea layer. And we obviously have Undersea Hero, Liquid Lad. Um, this is Secret Seal. That's a character that folks really haven't seen yet. Um, let's see here. Just looking for my reference. Yep, Secret Seal. This is Axel the Axolotl, and then this is Captain Clam. It's just a clam with a mustache and a captain's hat. So as you can see, we're expanding our characters towards the end of the book because that's kind of the lead-in, the segue into the rest of the characters in the universe. So let me pull this and just start filling this. I was a little nervous about drawing this panel because it's an angle I haven't drawn in a little while. So we'll see if I butcher it or if I can fake it well enough that it is functional. Yeah, I think she did do that stuff. I honestly don't know for sure, so I think she did do some of those art fight things. I think I remember her telling me about it. It might not be from the same place that you do yours, but it sounds very similar. So anybody read any good comics lately? I've been sorting some of my older ones. When I was too tired to do any work the other day, I pulled out some boxes and just had the TV on and was doing some sorting and, the old bagging and boarding and organizing, trying to get my collection in a state to, I don't know, I'll give some to my wife's cousins' kids, and I don't know, there's some that are like worth selling, but like, I don't know if I want to do that much work. So maybe I'll talk to the local comic store and they'll maybe sell them on consignment or something. Are we going to throw a big party when this book is done? I think we should. Big giant party. I remember the first time I worked on a Tick comic, I actually did throw a house party. That was a long time ago. Maybe we'll do a grill out or something. I did do, I can show you a piece of artwork I did do that's finished. Let's see if I got it sitting here. Yeah, we had another vessel commissioning. So I did a painting. This is one of the prints that they gave out at the show. I did a large painting of the new boat that joined the Steamship Authority, and yeah, they gave out these mini prints, and then they did like large 13 by 19 prints. The original is a full sheet of illustration board, so it's what, like 20 by 30 or whatever that is. So, doing other artwork that's not just comics. It's gouache and watercolor. So fun stuff. Back to the commercial arts roots. One of the reasons my drawings look so different from other people's is because I was trained as a painter first. So there's a painterly element to the forms. Neo Queen Honeybee. Thank you. Yeah, I did one for the first vessel, so we did one for this vessel, and then there's actually going to be a third one that I'll do another painting for, and I treated it as like a triptych where they all connect, and one of them is lit for the daytime, the other is lit for the evening, and then the final one will be in the morning. Sorry, I bumped the light, bumped the table, bumped the everything. Oh, thank you. Working on the page. I don't know if I'm going to add speed lines to that last panel or not. Excuse me. All those extra lines in there, that'll go away. Just so I could try to draw that mostly correct. That still looks wet, so. There we go. Let's see if we can From some angles, the giant chin works better than others. I think I will add the speed lines on that last panel. I think it needs a little extra melodrama, a little extra zip. A lot of them will get covered up by the sound effect that'll be there, but that's okay. I don't know if anything is different on your guys' end, but we did get a new internet router that's supposedly faster, so hopefully it means that you're getting the same thing but with less staticky stuff or less issues. The same but better. I've mostly been reading older comics still. I keep looking at that Steve Rude art book I showed off that I got at that show during the free comic book day. That was just a great pickup for $15. I've definitely learned a ton from it, and it's been good to see, the creative process in such an in-depth look at such a large body of work. It's a really interesting way to immerse in a different creative person's process instead of just keep staring at my stupid drawings over and over again. I did see that George Wendt passed away. For those of us that watched Cheers, I actually rewatched all of Cheers during the pandemic. That was a excellent escape, nice nostalgic sitcom to watch during that time. I'm not sure which streaming platforms it's on right now, but back then I think it was on even like Netflix or something. It was not on, you know, at that time it wasn't on Disney or anything because I didn't have those. It wasn't on Disney, it wasn't on Paramount. Maybe it was on Amazon. It was either on Amazon or Netflix at that time, but we watched Cheers. It was still a fun show. Both the Coach and the Woody years were enjoyable. So and he used to do events around Boston, so I'd see him around occasionally. I didn't know the guy, but he did conventions. He did like he would go to the Cheers bar in Boston. I do not know how George Perez drew all those tiny little figures. They require so much. For me, they require a lot of effort. I don't know, maybe he just did it effortlessly, but I refuse to believe that because of how hard of a job it is. I just feel like he must have just kept grinding away at all these little figures. Giant arms. For those of us that are hockey fans, I saw the Florida Panthers advanced, thus giving the Boston Bruins a first-round pick for the Brad Marchand trade. So at least we got something out of the playoffs. I am one of the rare comic slash sports guys. I played high school and prior hockey, and I played college baseball in high school and prior and all that. Legion ball. There we go. Overhead shots. Tough to do. You got to box everything out. You got to do all of the prep work for the angle. Everything's going to line up to your vanishing points. I had three. I had one here, and then one down here. So it's 3-point perspective done for just a simple overhead shot. And you see, like, yeah, I'm eyeballing some stuff, but it's all, for the most part, the organic shapes. So hopefully it works well enough. Hey, how's it going? Nehemiah, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Overhead shots take a while, but they're pretty satisfying when they're done. It's the easiest way to do the establishing shot, I think, and get the whole scope of the room all at once, like the whole environment. Some people might disagree. Some people might just say like a good wide shot is, will do the trick, and it'll work. But I don't know. For some reason, the overhead shot always seems to just have a little extra pizzazz. Holiday weekend, get the extra day off, which is nice. I'll be working on this stuff, trying to get this and then page 57 done, and then I have to go back and edit 2 pages, and then that's the line art I got left. So the page after this I'm gonna really enjoy drawing because it's the last. It's the inside back cover. So like when I say it's cover to cover pages, I mean it. I didn't want to add another 4 pages, so I put the last page of the story on the inside back cover. It's a very indie thing to do. I'm sure publishers will look at it and roll their eyes, but to me, it was a necessity to finish the story. Yeah, I'll take a look again after this one. There's a YouTube content creator, Pix Imperfect, who I think he does really excellent walkthroughs. I just want to see if he has one before I just send you a random one. Um, yeah, when I was doing some concept work for a video game company, I used gradient mapping, and it's not a fun process, but it is a what's the right word? Productive process. Probably that's probably the right word, because it will get those really sharp results I think you're looking for. There's our first drawing of Captain Clam. He's a clam with a hat and a mustache. And his hat has a smaller clam on it. It's high concept, really, really, avant-garde. Uh, Brian says fans and super fans won't care that there's artwork on the back cover. Well, the inside back cover. That's where it'll be, the last story page. I didn't want to short it, and I didn't want to add 3 more unnecessary pages, you know. This is already the longest book I've put out all at once for an illustrated book. And I think the third act is very tight. I don't think it's overly flush with too much going on, and I think that that if we added 3 more pages, I think you endanger losing people. And honestly, with the way that I write, this is going to be a very fast read. Like, I let the images do a lot of the talking, so it's not a mess. I'm happy to take a look. I think we're just gonna try to finish inking this, and then we'll call that a night for the stream, but then I'll take a look afterwards. Yeah, I always try to help when I can. Sometimes I get stuck doing other stuff, but I did just do a drawing for the some comics in a trade. That TMNT painting that we did arrived safe and sound to its destination out in sunny California. I don't think he'll mind if I say he's in that state, just because it's a very large state. It's not like I'm broadcasting an address or anything. One of the things in Undersea Hero that people will find as they go along is that there are creatures that are just creatures, and there are people that are ocean themed, and then there are kind of like your classic monster-y, mutant-y characters that are like completely fantastical. And Secret Seal is just a seal that has a pair of sunglasses. It's just a regular seal. There's nothing overly fantastical about Secret Seal. I mean, he's cool because obviously a seal wearing sunglasses is inherently cool, and probably was a mascot selling cigarettes at some point in the 80s. Michael, did I get a chance to read your comic? I did not. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I got it before we sign off here. You sent me a PDF and I missed it. I'm the worst. Let me take a look. Let me pull up my email. I'm guessing you sent it to Yahoo. I need to log in. Crap. Now I have to look up my password. This is riveting stuff. Having watching an old dope have to look up his passwords. Michael DeFonte. I don't see it, Mike. I've got my email in front of me. Take a look. Did you send it to Gmail or did you send it to Yahoo? And I don't see anything in Gmail. Yeah, send it to me. I have my email up right in front of me, Mike. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Did it get bounced? Was it too big or maybe it um see if somebody's I would have noticed a Michael DeFonte email. And it should be fatcatfunnies at yahoo.com. I don't I've got it right in front of me. Michael DeFonte. I have it searched in the last email I got from you. It says 2021. At midnight.studios.east. The last email I got was in November of 2021. Okay. Just either that, or you could try a Facebook Messenger, or yeah, if there's a way. Because if it got bounced in email, I don't want it to get bounced again. Like I said, I have had the email open. Okay, cool. Let me take a look. This Facebook user. Aren't we friends? Yeah, there it is. There's Michael. There it is. I got it. I will give it a read. Thank you. I will give it a read. I got it. I got it this time. Thank you. Now I got something new to read. That's exciting. Maybe I'll read it sitting outside this weekend. That would be nice. That sounds like a plan. Weather's good, sit outside, read Mike's new comic. It sounds like a plan. Captain Clam. It's just a clam with a mustache. Yep. When you see him close up, the lid of the shell opens up. Let's see. Let me make room. Basically, looks like this will be all in shadow. And then he has this big captain's hat. It's like a Captain Crunch hat, basically. And then it has a clam on it. I don't know why you would think Captain Clam just for a captain's hat, but I just felt it needed a little something extra. I'd have to click share screen or whatever. Oops. But yeah, that's about what it looks like. Captain Clam. What is he captain of? I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Or maybe he's a retired captain. That's why he's hanging out at Undersea Hero's house. Yep. And then the big bushy mustache. You gotta have lots of. There we go. Yep. It's very high concept, avant-garde. Really pushing the boundaries of cultural narrative and artistic expression. Pushing the boundaries of. As long as he doesn't end up on a clam flavored cereal box. Clam flavored cereal. That'll have to show up at some point. Just the idea is just so absurd, just patently absurd. Clam flavored cereal. Brian, I think you're onto a bit here that'll exist in this comic. I mean, very clearly it would be parody, so I think we would be okay. Dollar store cereal mascots. That's correct. Yep. Because the dollar store cereal is like the overstock from countries that don't exist anymore. This is a. I don't remember this Captain Crunch box. Yes, this is from the Cold War and countries that don't exist anymore. Some sort of Eastern Bloc country. I don't know why I made sort of like a piano shaped thing for them to sit on. It just seemed cool to me. I was like, well, we need a seat for a seal, a clam, and an axle here. And of course, like this panel will be shrunk down. So, like these figures that are 2 inches tall will be like an inch and a quarter tall on the final printed page. And, the Undersea Hero insignia is just like an old school, like, magnet that they used to use in cartoons or on Mr. Wizard, with like little water drawn at the top, like a kid's version of water. And I thought about adding, like a checkerboard floor or whatever, but because he's in a volcanic layer, I was like, well, we'll just add a little bit of texture. Like, I think that would be adequate. I think that if we come down like this, bring a shadow that way. And if the light source is consistent, it's from up and over here, we would want something like this. It comes back over here. And then actually where he's sitting, we would want it to come in like this. I'll come back with a fresh bottle of ink and, flatten out these shadow areas. But we're just trying to rough them in right now so that we can get a better look at what the final thing is going to be. to bring this over a little bit. There we go. That's better. So what I'm going to do is I will kind of like ballpark from our vanishing points, but I'm just going to use some very organic shapes as like a stone floor. Once we get the little table drawn. I don't know. I always thought that that was like a prerequisite, was that you had to have a table with your logo on it. I have a great page drawn by Ron Garney of the Justice League sitting around a giant JLA table, and it's just such a strong image that you know, it's been replicated hundreds of times. I'll probably digitally clean up the shape of the table just a little bit. And from here, it's there. There we go. I can erase some of these pencil marks. Oops, get a little bit of a smudge. Oops, that's okay. It's the beauty of doing black and white is that you can just add one or the other to take care of those mistakes. You know, people think of pen and ink as being restrictive, but I actually think that the binary element to it makes it pretty easy. one of the easy ways to kind of fudge your perspective is as you're going away from the camera, just make things smaller and overlap them a little bit. Now there are mathematical ways to do this like perfectly and have it be, but to be honest, like that's the kind of stuff you can kind of fudge, and it's not going to kill you as long as you get the perspective of the main portion or whatever. I think that you're going to be okay. Some old cartooning marks. And do those marks do anything? Not really, but they're just ones that I thought would be appropriate there with this type of drawing. Um, I think we will add some of those. Like I said, we'll add some of those speed lines, but I'm going to just do a quick eyeball on them. I'm going to do one of my like things that I try to get away with, and sometimes do. Sometimes I do, sometimes I do not. I'm also intentionally putting more space between the rocks when it's closer to the camera so that as it pulls away, you can reduce the space and it adds, again, just more of a dynamic appeal. And then it kind of dissipates, it loses its structural integrity as you get further away, and that's okay. That means you don't have to draw every single little teeny rock as it goes off into the distance. My flatter is going to be furious about this floor texture, but I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. Do we want it to look cool or don't we want it to look cool? I don't know. At times we just want it to look stupid. When I'm doing this texture, I'm being mindful of where the breaks are and just the proportionality, and then how much space there is between each of the rocks. Because you want variable shapes. Variable spaces, so you can get away with some. And for some of the really close to the foreground ones, we'll add a little bit of texture. Hey, Caleb, good to see you. Thanks for sharing the announcement for tonight's video. And here's where I'll borrow Mike's line for people that are in the chat or whatever. If you could hit the like button. I think everybody here has subscribed on one or whichever platform they prefer. If you can do that, it really helps me out with the algorithm, the big ominous algorithm. It just helps people find the channel and support the work, and really appreciate it. And I got your message. I will get back to you about that book. I will get back to you this weekend. Because I will be opening my store up, my online store this year, but you've been a big support, so we'll get you that book. I think I don't know, a friend of mine, Chris Campana, has like his crew that always support him online and stuff, and he does he comes up with things to have for them at shows, and I think I should do something like that for you folks. I don't have a snappy name for our group, and we had talked about this, but It's one of those where if you're a regular viewer, maybe we'll have like a code word and there's like a free thing at an event, or discount codes or something. We gotta think of a way to thank you folks for showing up every Wednesday. I'm lucky to have a group of people come hang out. Martha's, you're always commenting, always super helpful. All the regulars are good at it. We just get we get lurkers. We get new people. We get people who show up. So like try to get them to want to hop in and help out. Oh, it's my pleasure. It's helped keep me on target, and it makes it so that I can do the Undersea Hero update live. Like everybody knows exactly where we're at on the book. I don't know. I don't think I could be any more transparent other than being present to answer questions and to actually show you working on. At the end of this, what a cool thing that'll come out of this, and I'm not even sure my computer will be. I'll probably need to get an external hard drive to put all the footage on, but I'm going to download every live drawing of working on Undersea Hero that we've done, put them at warp speed, and at the end of every chapter, like every episode, and we have probably 100 episodes of working on Undersea Hero, I'll put the finished page, and then hopefully at the end I'll be able to show the finished book. Like we'll do a flip through or episode where we don't draw and we just do a flip through of the new book. And yeah, I think that would be a cool thing. Like this giant book project has also become a giant video project, and if I can share that, I'll share that with the Kickstarter supporters first and you guys here. So we'll do like a live show. We'll do a premiere. Hey Michael, thanks for hanging out, and thank you for the comic book. I look forward to reading your latest opus. Always good to see you, man. There we go. I might lose this part here. These don't have to be perfect, and I actually don't want too many lines. Sometimes when there's too many speed lines, I think they lose their effect. It becomes almost a shadow screen. There we go. We can erase these pencil lines. One of the things I also like to do, maybe I'll do that for this. It's a fun way to. I don't know. There's going to be so much stuff going on in this panel. It might be too much. Thank you. It's an old cartoonist trick. I don't love this liquid lead, but it's the one we got. And again, just trying to do the best I can today. I think we need a couple more over here. Yeah, exactly. I only like to do a few, you know. And then if I while I'm coloring it, if I want to add a little bit more, what I like to do is I'll have the solid color, and then I'll go in with like a white that I block out some extra chunks of like open space, and then you have your speed lines all the way around like that. It just adds a layered energy effect that I like. It's something that when you pencil ink and color all your own stuff, you get to call those shots. Let's zoom out and see page 56. There's our prelim. You can see the prelim. There is the spider crab. There's our volcanic layer. There's our goose barnacles. And there's our overhead shot. Here's our overhead shot. And then there's our third panel with there will be a big knock knock. Somebody's knocking at the door. So we made it. We got through page 56. Huzzah. So thanks for coming and hanging out tonight. We're going to call it an evening, and hope everybody has a good weekend. And yeah, I hope everyone's healthy, well, and if you have a holiday this weekend, then enjoy it. I will hope to see you all next week. Thanks again. Good night, everybody.